For centuries, wood has been more than just a material. It has been the backbone of civilization, shaping homes, ships, railroads, and entire nations. From hand tools of the past to today's precision-driven sawmills, the journey of turning raw timber into refined lumber is a story of both tradition and innovation. Today, we take you deep into a modern sawmill in Östervall, Sweden, a place where Scandinavian engineering meets nature's raw strength. Here, massive logs are transformed through a highly automated, incredibly precise production line designed for efficiency, accuracy, and sustainability. In this video, you'll witness the full process, from raw log handling to the final finished boards. And later, we'll take a step back into the forest to uncover how these trees are harvested and transported. So stay with us until the end, because every board you see begins long before it reaches the mill. Now, let's begin. Before a single log enters a sawmill, its journey begins deep within carefully managed forests. In Sweden, forestry is not just an industry. It is a long-term commitment to sustainability. Trees are selectively harvested after decades of growth, ensuring that the forest continues to regenerate naturally. Modern harvesting machines grip towering trees and cut them at the base in seconds with remarkable precision. The same machine trims branches and cuts the trunk into uniform sections. The logs are sorted by size and quality, a crucial step for efficient processing later. Forwarders transport the logs across rugged terrain. Finally, long-haul trucks deliver them to the sawmill. What once took days can now be done in hours. But inside the mill, the real transformation begins. Stage 1. Log receiving, infeed, and debarking. When truckloads of timber arrive at the mill, the process does not begin with sawing right away. First, the logs pass through the receiving and infeed area. This stage is extremely important because everything farther down the line depends on each log entering in the right order, the right direction, and at a steady pace. Here, loaders or grapples unload the timber and place it onto conveyors and heavy steel rollers. The system separates the logs from the raw pile and feeds them one at a time. This allows the downstream machines, including scanners and debarkers, to work with greater accuracy. If the infeed is uneven, the logs can turn the wrong way, collide, or disrupt the entire line. On the surface, this may look like nothing more than logs rolling along a conveyor. But technically, the mill is converting a highly irregular natural resource into a controlled material flow. That is the foundation of automation. Before machines can work precisely, the incoming material must first be stabilized. The logs then move into the debarking stage. A debarker removes the outer bark with rotating tools, while preserving as much valuable wood as possible underneath. This is not just a cleaning step. Bark often carries dirt, sand, and small debris. If those materials reach the sawing system, the blades wear down faster, cut quality drops, and maintenance costs rise. Debarking also helps the next scanning systems read the log more accurately. Once the rough bark is removed, lasers and sensors can capture better data for cutting optimization. In many modern mills, the removed bark is even reused as biomass fuel. That shows how a modern sawmill aims not only for production efficiency, but also for maximum use of the raw material from the very beginning. Phase 2. Wood scattering and optimizing cutting methods. After debarking, the log enters one of the most important stages in the entire mill, scanning and sawing optimization. In a modern sawmill, this is the brain of the line. Lasers, sensors, and control computers measure the true shape of each log in seconds, recording its diameter, length, taper, curve, and overall geometry. On a line such as the Hughes-Saw SL250, this optimization matters enormously because no two logs are truly alike. Every tree grew under different conditions, and if every log were cut with the same fixed pattern, a large amount of valuable wood would be wasted. From that data, the control software calculates the best cutting pattern for maximum recovery. In simple terms, the system decides how the log should be turned, how many boards can be taken from it, what thickness those boards should be, and how to minimize waste. The goal is not merely to cut more lumber. The goal is to produce the most valuable mix of lumber possible: center boards, side boards, structural pieces, or cleaner-looking boards for higher value applications. This is one of the biggest differences between a modern sawmill and an older one. In the past, the operator's eye and experience made most of the decisions. Today, experience still matters, but the computer can perform thousands of calculations almost instantly and deliver a more consistent result. This stage improves yield, reduces raw material waste, lowers cost per cubic meter of finished lumber, and helps the mill use forest resources more efficiently. Stage 3. Primary sawing and main workpiece creation. Once the cutting pattern has been selected, the log moves into the primary breakdown section. This is the stage where a round tree stem begins to become usable timber. On a modern saw line, this is far more advanced than simply slicing the log into pieces. It is a carefully controlled sequence designed to remove the highest value material from the original round shape with speed and precision. At this stage, the machine may first create flat reference faces before the main sawing operation continues. Those flat faces are extremely important because they stabilize the log as it passes through high-speed cutting units. When the material is held more steadily, dimensional accuracy improves, the cut surface becomes cleaner, and the chance of losing usable wood through vibration or misalignment is reduced. Many viewers notice only how fast the lumber moves through the saws, but the more impressive part is the feed accuracy behind that speed. If the in-feed is fast but poorly controlled, even a few millimeters of deviation can create major losses at industrial production volumes. That is why primary sawing is not simply the first cut. It is the stage that sets the foundation for the quality of everything that follows. The output of this stage is usually a central cant, along with separated side pieces. From this point onward, the line can route different material streams separately, because each portion of the log has a different value, structure, and intended end use. Stage 4. Secondary sawing, splitting, and edge trimming. After primary breakdown, the material enters secondary sawing, where it is cut into boards of specific dimensions. This is the stage where the tree truly starts to resemble a commercial product. If the earlier stage was mainly about extracting the most valuable timber from the log, this stage is about converting that timber into standardized dimensions that customers can use for construction, pallets, packaging, furniture, or further processing. Multiple saws may work at the same time, producing several boards in a single pass. That is one reason modern sawmills achieve such high throughput. But speed only matters if consistency comes with it. A good mill does not simply cut fast. It cuts in a way that keeps thickness uniform, surfaces reasonably clean, and process-related defects as low as possible. After sawing, many boards still carry rough outer edges because the original log was round. That is why edging is so important. The edger removes irregular side portions, straightens both edges, and brings the board closer to standard dimensions. This has a major effect on both appearance and usability. A board with straight edges is easier to stack, easier to join in construction, easier to package, and better suited to commercial grading standards. For viewers who enjoy the technical side of industry, this is an important point. Not every bit of wood should be kept in the final board. The mill must constantly balance two priorities: saving as much wood as possible and ensuring that the finished board is straight enough, clean enough, and standardized enough to command a good price. That is why sawing and edging decisions have such strong economic consequences. Stage 5. Length cutting, defect removal and classification of fresh wood. Once the boards have reached their intended thickness and width, they move into trimming and green sorting. At first glance, this may seem simple, but in reality it plays a major role in determining the commercial value of the lumber. A longer board is often worth more, but only if the wood quality is good enough to justify keeping that full length. If there are dead knots, end splits, excessive warp, or other defects, the mill may trim the board shorter to remove the weak section. For that reason, trimming is not merely about making all boards the same length. It is a quality decision. The mill must choose the cut point that best balances value and structural reliability. In many cases, sacrificing a small amount of length can turn a questionable piece into a reliable product that is easier to sell and safer for the end user. After trimming, the green lumber is sorted. In modern mills, sorting may be based on dimensions, product category, visible defects, and sometimes scanning support for quality assessment. The goal is to gather boards with similar characteristics into the same stream, so that the next steps, especially kiln drying, can be controlled more effectively. In Scandinavian practice, green sorting is often closely linked with layer building and the placement of stickers between courses before the packages move to the kilns. This is one of the most valuable technical lessons for viewers. If boards of very different thicknesses and characteristics are mixed together, drying becomes far less consistent. Some pieces may dry too fast and crack, while others may remain wetter than intended. Good sorting at this stage is therefore the foundation for consistent quality later in the process. Stage 6. Planing, finishing, inspection, and packaging. Once the lumber has been dried to the desired level, it enters the finishing stage. Depending on its end use, many boards pass through planers to smooth the surfaces and refine dimensions even further. Planing does not merely improve appearance. It also creates more uniform faces and edges, making the lumber easier to join, fasten, coat, or send into later manufacturing processes. This is also the point where quality differences become much easier to see. After planing, knots, small checks, resin pockets, discoloration, and other surface defects are more visible. That is why final inspection is so important. At this stage, the mill decides which boards are suitable for structural use, which are better for appearance applications, and which should be routed into other product categories. Finally, the lumber is bundled, strapped, labeled, and prepared for shipment. To a casual viewer, this may look like the end of the process. But to industry professionals, this is the moment when the value created by the entire mill is locked into a complete commercial product. Correct dimensions, correct moisture, correct grade, efficient storage, and readiness for long-distance transport. Put simply, if harvesting gives the mill its raw material, and sawing gives the wood its form, then finishing is the stage that turns timber into a market-ready product. That is why a modern sawmill is not merely a place that cuts wood quickly. It is a place that transforms a natural resource into a standardized, high-value industrial product. From the quiet forests of Sweden to the precision of modern machinery, the journey of wood is a story of harmony between nature and technology. Every log, after decades of growth, is transformed into valuable products through careful calculation, control, and modern engineering. What we see today is not just a production line, but the result of centuries of development in the timber industry. And behind every finished board, there is a long journey few people ever see. If you enjoy stories like this, stay with Global Technology, because the world is built from the simplest materials, and we're here to help you discover them.